Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Airlinesim with me, Alfapiomega, and PNLL. So, first of all, I'm gonna start with an apology. I have had a terrible cold for the past 10 days. I'm still struggling, maybe you can hear it, but it's this or nothing, so I apologize in advance if you hear me sniffle. However, I'm getting better, thank you for asking. How is PNLL? Well, PNLL is great. You can see here that we have gotten all 5 of the planned Canada Regional Jet 1000's next generation ELs, and they have taken our average fleet age to 14.1 years, which is great. Another great thing is that despite having an incredible profit in the last video, we have made it better. This week, we have increased our profit to $2,071,490 Airlinesim dollars, which is 14% margin. So after all of this, you can see that our income is actually increasing rapidly, and it's increasing much faster than the expenses, which is awesome, you know. Part of it is the ever-growing AGEX, which has just reached, I'm pretty sure it might be an all-time high of 1,066. But another part is the optimization. So I'm pretty sure that even if AGEX now fallen to where it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, I think. What was it? September. Yeah, well, about 8 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure we would be able to handle it much better than we were before. However, now it's time for continuing with the modernization, and that's one thing that I haven't done yet. I'm gonna tell you why. We have about 3.8 million in the bank. We have about 4 million Airlinesim dollars per week that we pay. So we have about 1 week's worth of money. But for the project that we need, we will need at least, I think, 11 to 12 million Airlinesim dollars. So as we're gonna do it in the span of 4 weeks, and as we're only gonna get about 2 million for the leasing of the Boeing 717s we are using, I decided that I'm gonna wait for 1 week before I order the first A319s from Helvetia Air. This is again due to financial reasons. We could have made it if the profit was increasing and if everything went as we imagined it. We could have made it this week, but nah, I think I'm gonna wait that week to just feel a bit more secure. We don't want to screw things up and, rush it. The A319s will be okay. It's gonna be the A320 Neos that's gonna be very expensive for us, and that will take some time to implement. So as we already have about 1 million saved from the weeks when we were getting the 1000s, I think it's a safe bet to wait this week, set it out, and start next week. So that's what I'm gonna do, The plan hasn't changed. We're going for 2 A390s, these ones, A390s 100 whites. There are no one on the market, so it's gonna be kind of tricky to deal with this. Helvetia Air and me will have to negotiate what time would probably be the best to do the leasing of these airplanes so that no one else will snatch them up. And as far as the A320s go, they're we're gonna go with the white ones too. I'm looking especially forward to the cargo increase, because cargo has been something that we really are not focusing at all on. Even though that we have a decent load factor, I'm looking forward to increasing this. And after we get the initial 4 airplanes, we can go back to growing and seeing what we can see, I like saying that. We'll see what we'll see. It's kind of a tautology, but I like it. So after we get to those 4 airplanes, we're going to get rid of these. This will greatly increase our capacity on some of the main lines. I'll have to be really careful about how I handle it, because again, we could spiral down to depth with the bigger aircraft. So I'm hoping that our routes will handle it. And then our ways are open, depending on what, how we'll feel and how the airpoints will fill. I can either start adding more airpoints, or I might start on my own this time, getting the new Canada regional jets, and those would be the 700th next generation. I kind of like these. They are very efficient. They have a better rating. And they're not all that expensive. They cost about, where's the price? I don't believe it's here. Oh, 26 million. So if we requested a quotation for one, it would be about 1.3 million. And I'm pretty sure that we can do it. 1.3 million isn't all that much. At this point, we would save about 700,000 per week. So this would be doable. It's a question of what do we do with the airpoints we have. We could start phasing out the smallest one, or we could phase out the 700s and use the new airplanes to upgrade our fleet and see how we handle the newer airplanes. But I'd like to keep growing. Another way how I could do that is I could start a subsidiary and use the 700s in it to... No, actually, I could start a subsidiary, phase out these airplanes, use the 700s instead, and phase out these to the subsidiary. So we would have something like Air France Hop or Lufthansa City Shuttle. I even found out a couple of routes where we could do it. One of possible destinations is Krakow. I found Katowice to be good, and another one would be Gdansk. I'm going to show them to you. Gdansk has no possibility of transfer, so this would be really just point to point. But there's a number of places where we could fly from here. Gdansk has only one connection to St. Petersburg, so I'm pretty sure we could handle a route to Moscow from Gdansk, at least a daily connection. Another airplane, another city that would be really good would be Krakow for the same reason. There's only a very limited amount of flights to Russia, and there's actually no flights to Russia from here. So that's another possibility. Or we could create a mini hub in Katowice. Again, no transfer is possible, but Katowice don't even have a big domestic market. There are flights only to Gdansk and to Warsaw, so we could, for example, connect it to Krakow and other places in Europe. So, and in Poland especially. So I'm thinking about that as a thing too. Mostly I'm doing this to evade the thing which is bothering me for now. A lot of connections from Warsaw are handled by my biggest partners, Helvetia Air and Union Air, both of them being in my alliance. And I'm thinking that if I'm to gain an upper hand here, I should start maybe negotiating with them if they would be willing to abandon some of the routes that they are having in Warsaw in favor of me, basically. But that's a bit, shitty. So I'm hoping that I might find another way. But the slot situation is getting really critical. You can see that it's not really good. Some of the times, like 12 o'clock, which is our main departure time, 18 o'clock. Yeah, these are not all that good looking, So it's a bit problematic. But again, we can fix this by getting bigger airplanes. And we should also focus on some out-of-Europe destinations that we can fly to, because those will be the most profitable. Speaking of flying, I identified a potential in these larger destinations, which have the best rating of 99 by competing airlines. So we could start flights to Munich, with the new aircraft, especially because we would have a very high rating of 100 possibly. I have 100 on most of my routes. So Munich, Paris, Orly, Amsterdam, Madrid, and Barcelona. We could overtake these routes if we wanted to, especially with the new Airbuses and the Canada Regional Jet 7 and 900s, the new ones. Now I'm gonna just speak about what I did in regards to the last aircraft that we have gotten. It was named Lena. So now we have Liliana, Maria, Dominica, Susanna, and Lena. And Lena is, doing pretty well. It has taken over the routes to Aalborg, to Belgrade, and a night flight to Gatwick. They're all doing pretty good, Belgrade being the weakest one. Gatwick is super full, so that's a candidate for an upgrade to A319 soon. We're getting a decent profit and decent amount of connections from it too, so that's really good. Apart from that, we started a second daily connection to Varna, which is good, with our Canada Regional Jet 200, so I'm hoping... I actually haven't checked it since. Yeah, that's not bad, since I shadowed it. It's not 100%, but it's good. Then Malmö was the second daily connection to Malmö. Okay, so that one is doing better. It's full on the outbound and almost full on the inbound. Good. Then we have Poznan. Okay, Poznan has been upgraded to a Canada Regional Jet 700. We're starting to be a pretty big player in Poznan. I like that. Then we have Budapest has been upgraded to Canada Regional Jet 700. So that's good. Where is Budapest? Here. So that increased our capacity greatly. We are flying once with Canada Regional Jet 900 and once with Canada Regional Jet 700. Pretty good. Both inbound and outbound working well. Donetsk has been upgraded. So that's another big thing. Okay, Donetsk looking good. We're getting decent amount of people on those flights. Rotterdam. Wow, Rotterdam has been upgraded quite a lot from Canada Regional Jet 200 to 900. I'm hoping that's not gonna be a mistake. Actually, it's doing good. We increased the capacity greatly. It's not gonna... This day was a disaster, but this one is looking better. So are these ones. Well, yeah, Rotterdam is not performing as... hoped, but it's actually not all that bad. 700, yeah, it's pretty good. On the outbound, this one is actually profitable, and this one, it's not a big loss. Okay, I guess we'll keep it, at least for now. Then Budapest, yeah, that's the other flight, has been upgraded from 700 to 900. Gatwick, yes, has been upgraded. Aalborg and Belgrade. So those are the changes for this week. Quite a lot of them, I will give you that. But yeah, we got strategic changes ahead of us, people. We need to think about those. Again, the 319s and 320s are coming from next week, so that's going to be a big thing. But then we have to decide what's next, Phasing out the 717s is possible. And I guess after that we'll have to figure out what we do. Getting more aircraft or getting bigger aircraft. It's a question. Maybe I'll do it. 1 week a bigger aircraft, 1 week an extra aircraft. I don't really know. We could definitely get an extra 700 and a 200 every week. The 200 being an old one and a 700 being the new one. Especially if we release the old one. Then we could maybe get even two 200s. It's possible. But I'm still thinking that we deserve a big international flight, We deserve it. But I don't know where we could fly to, honestly. Warsaw has a lot of possibilities, but it's kind of a bummer. We have flights to Canada. Okay, once per day by Polar Bear Airlines. I haven't even heard about this airline before. Okay, Polar Bear. And There's a flight to Qatar by Qatar International. Okay. There's no flight to United Arab Emirates. That would be probably a good choice. And we have a single flight to Chicago O'Hara by Air Cheese. Okay. And that's the only destinations. Chicago was my next thing, after New York. I'd like to fly to Canada, to United States, probably Japan, Dubai, maybe some destination in South America. I don't know actually the demand for these places, so it will require further testing. We'll see. Anyway, this is all for this week. I hope you enjoyed the update. I hope that you will forget me again for my still a bit crappy voice, but I'm doing my best. And I'll see you folks next week with some more update on PNLL.